Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. This is Tiffany coming through here live in effect. Tonight's topic is going to be about the debate between Dr. TooSweet and Cedrick of Pseudo Killas. And I'm going to give you all my honest opinion because I watched the debate in itself. Hey, peace, brother Greg. How you doing? I'm going to give y'all my honest opinion. That debate was a total disaster. I repeat, the debate was a total disaster. Why do I say it was a disaster? Because, and I'm going to look at both sides of the issue here. Now, I'm going to start with Dr. TooSweet. And I'm going to speak on the moderator as well. Dr. TooSweet, the problem was the presentation. That was the problem. Her presentation, as far as the setting, the format in itself, it was not on point. Now, she made some good arguments, but the presentation was not on point. You know, I don't think she was as well prepared when she did her presentation. You know, in my opinion. And then getting to Cedrick, I would say his presentation was well put together. His presentation was well put together. He had sources. I would give him that credit. But it became a problem because, for one, there was some connection issues going on. There were some connection issues. And then two, when it came down to the Q&A, I noticed that they were talking over each other. But Cedrick was highly disrespectful to this woman. He was absolutely disrespectful. He was very antagonizing. He was name calling. He was telling her, don't be a pseudo now. And every time he asked a question, he would not allow her to answer because he was constantly talking over her. Every single time she was trying to answer a question, it was hard to hear the sister out. And she had to talk over him because he was talking over her. So when she tried to ask a question, instead of him trying to answer the question right, he was trying to dominate how she was going to ask the question. And that became a major problem. And I don't think the moderator was doing a great job on his end. So no disrespect to brother DMG, but I don't think you did a great job. I don't think you did a great job because you allowed it to go so long before you actually said something. And if he would have said in the beginning, we're going to do this debate, and there are some rules of engagement. If you guys are going to talk over each other, then one of you will be disqualified. Again, if you guys going to talk over each other, then one of you will be disqualified. He did not set down the rules of engagement from the very beginning. He did not do that. And Cedrick was allowed to talk over this woman and disrespect this woman. And it was hard to hear her response because he kept talking over her. And I left towards the end. Now, there was a situation that happened between the moderator and the sister. I don't know everything what was said between those two. But I do know I left towards the end because it was just a disaster. That's how bad it was. Let me tell y'all something. And this confirms what I was saying before about the pseudo killers in my previous video. They are very biased. The people in the comment section, most of them are part of the pseudo killers team. She did this, she did that, she was rude, she was bullying, she was this, she was that. But you know good and well that man was talking over that woman. And he was being very emotional. He was being very emotional. He killed her. He got her. He got her. Of course you're going to say that. Of course you're going to say that when you can be loud and aggressive and antagonizing. It's real easy to say somebody's winning because it's an online debate. See, here's the thing. Pseudo killers do not know anything about debating. They don't know the art of debating. When it comes down to dealing with your opponent, there has to be a level of respect on both sides. Okay? There has to be a level of respect, whether you agree with them or not. And also in public speaking, engagement, debating, you cannot antagonize your opponent. Because the moment you do that, technically you will be disqualified. You will be disqualified. You will be out of the debate. No matter how well your presentation was, no matter how great your argument was, the moment you start to antagonize your opponent, you're disqualified. And you cannot win a debate through emotionalism. Again, you don't win a debate through emotionalism. So for those who say Cedrick won, technically he did not win because you can't win a debate through emotionalism. And I'm going to show you something else that I see. And some people going to get mad, and that's okay. I saw misogyny. I saw that because it's a common pattern when it comes to a man and a woman having intellectual conversation. It's a very common pattern with men. I've seen it. I've noticed this. Whenever there's a woman that steps into the arena debating a man, especially when it comes to having an intellectual debate, there's some form, there's going to always be a form of antagonism. Because what the male opponent tries to do is play into the woman's psychology. He tried to make it where she can get out of character and try to frame her as a way of saying that she has no control over herself. Now, when the sister was debating the other woman, it was pretty smooth. But when she got into the arena with this man, it was a whole nother ball game. So what you got to do, and I'm not trying to make it a gender bias type of thing, but this is very common. What generally, and this is very common with males, what they'll try to do is they try to frame the psychology of the female to make her feel uncomfortable, to make her feel like she's not able to debate or she's not intelligent. So I would say many men have a preconceived notion that women are intellectually inferior. Again, many men have preconceived notion that women are intellectually inferior. And that's what I observe, that this man, Cedrick, feels like this woman is intellectually inferior, and it was an easy win for him to go in on her because he felt like she was not as intelligent. And he feel like he can dominate her in a debate. And he can try to frame her psychology to make her feel like she is inferior to him. And this is why I hate to say this to the ladies. You got to be careful when you go into these arenas. And I'm not saying all men do this, but it's a very common pattern with men in general. Not all men, but with men in general. Whenever you try to have an intellectual debate, what they'll try to do is frame your mind. They will try to frame your psychology to get you to react emotionally. They will try to gaslight you. And that's exactly what Cedrick was doing during that debate. And he seen that she was not going for it and she was standing her ground. He got frustrated and started going in on her because she was not going to allow that to happen. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her. You don't allow somebody to try to manipulate you. You don't allow somebody to try to play in your face. So again, I'm going by what I saw and what I witnessed. And this confirms exactly what I said about pseudo killers. They are biased. They are intellectual bullies. In their eyes, none of their members can do anything wrong. In their eyes, none of their members can do anything wrong. That's how they feel. But these are people who claim to be scholars, who claim to be scientifically literate, but you have no debating skills. You're not ready to put yourselves up for the challenge. Based on what I saw, you're not ready for it. You're not ready for the challenge. Because if many of y'all went to university and college and you would try that type of debate, you will try that nonsense, that YouTube debate, that street debate, it's not going to work. You guys will be embarrassed. You guys will be embarrassed because you don't know how to manage your emotions. And so Cedrick, in this case, he does not know how to manage his emotions. You're right, Greg. Absolutely. They would get laughed the fuck off the stage. They would get laughed at. Because one thing you got to learn how to do is manage your goddamn emotions. You got to be able to know how to deal with being under pressure. And if you can't deal with being under pressure, debating is not for you. If you feel like you got to go off on somebody and antagonize somebody in a debate, then it's not for you. If I was ever to get into a debating arena, it would be a lot of things I would have to work on as far as myself is concerned, my character. Because when you go into a debating arena, you have to be able to focus, stay focused as much as possible. Focus on the subject. Focus on what your presentation is and how you're going to go about presenting your presentation. And then you have to focus on your opponent and how they go about delivering their presentation. And in the middle of the Q&A, right? In the middle of the Q&A, you also have to find a common ground. Where is the common ground at? Now, you have disagreements, but you also have a common ground. There's a thing called the Rogerian argument. Look it up, Rogerian argument. Rogerian. So with the Rogerian argument, right, it's the most professional way of debating. You can have a disagreement with your opponent. You can present your argument to your opponent, right? You could be able to understand your opponent. Excuse me, you have to be able to understand your opponent's point of view, where he or she coming from. And then while you guys have your differences, you have to find a common ground. And you guys will have to be able to have a better understanding and show some respect. There was no respect involved in that debate. That was total disrespect. And it was intentional. These people are not ready to put themselves up to a challenge. They're not. Especially Unc. He definitely is not ready. And I have yet to find a video where he debated someone from RFK camp. I have not seen that video. Maybe Sinetta got it somewhere in his archives and he's not putting it up for the public's eye because he wants people to pay for it. Which I think is interesting. It's interesting that, you know what, but I'm not even going to go there. That's the politics. That's the politics between Unc and Sinetta. So I'm going to leave that part alone. But the most important thing is you got to work on debating skills. If you really want to prove yourself, how much of a scholar you guys claim to be, how much scientifically literate you claim to be, how much great research methods you have, scientific methods, you have to be able to know how to engage in better public speaking skills. You got to be able to know how to engage in a debate appropriately. But although this is YouTube, right? And people do things for entertainment purpose. And that's cool. The entertainment is cool. But where did the lesson come in? Where did the lesson fall in line with that entertainment? Because while it's entertaining, now you could be able to present and be able to articulate the points without bringing all that antagonism. Because now you said the example to the people of the meaning of debates and what it means to respect your opponent. Again, the meaning of debate and what it means to respect your opponent. These people don't respect their opponents. It's one of those, I'm gaining victory. Instead of bringing the wisdom, is I'm gaining victory. And fuck y'all, I don't care about y'all because it's all about the victory. That's the attitude they have. It's all about the victory. We gonna be the gatekeepers. We gonna be the top notch. And like I told y'all the other night, Brother Unc is to Pseudo Killas what Vince McMahon was to WWE. Brother Unc is to Pseudo Killas what Vince McMahon was to WWE. The only difference is Vince McMahon got himself caught up in some sexual allegation. I don't care. I'm at home. I'm at home. So if it bothers you, then you might want to just go ahead and log off. I'm at home. I'm not in the streets. That's a difference. Anyways, back to the point. Back to the point. What Vince McMahon was to WWE before all that allegation came about is what Unc is to Pseudo Killas. Period. And is it really about teaching the people the information? Or is it about just showing that I can bully this person over here and I can antagonize them and I can throw them on the bus and make them feel some kind of way? So you really have to ask yourself, is it really about giving the lesson to the people? Or is it about antagonize a person to make them feel insecure, to make them feel like they inferior to you? What is the whole general purpose? You can only get so far as an intellectual bully. Again, you can only get so far as an intellectual bully. You can only get so far as a bully until you get a dose of your own medicine. So in my humble opinion, nobody won that debate last night. Nobody won because it was a hot mess. It was horrible. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. There was no win out of that. I don't have that song by him. I don't know the name of the song that you're talking about. It was horrible. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. And I got some people mad talking about some. What you mean? You're blind. You're going along with her. You're following her. No, it's not that I'm going along with her and I'm following her. I want to say this. That sister did a great job by standing her ground. Although things went left, but she did stand her ground. She didn't allow herself to feel insecure by an individual. So I want to give that shout out to that sister. But I will say this, and I will say this. That debate right there is a prime example. If it don't teach you a lesson how people really are, then I don't know what to tell you. If it don't show you how people truly feel and operate, I don't know what to tell you. You got to let that be a lesson. And some may ask, well, Tiffany, why don't you debate them? No. Because as I mentioned, I would have to be fully prepared altogether. I would have to come with a different approach. I would have to come with a different style. Because if I come in as myself into the arena, debating somebody like Cedrick, it will go totally left. Because one thing I would not accept is disrespect. Because the moment you disrespect me, that's when you finna have a problem. And I don't want to go on somebody else's channel disrespecting another individual because they show their disrespect towards me first. So I would have to come with a different approach, with a different style, and a different attitude. It takes a lot of discipline when it comes to debating. Again, you gotta have a lot of discipline. If you don't have a lot of discipline, then it's not going to work out for your best interest. You're going to continue to be on the losing team. So you gotta have a lot of discipline. And that's what I have to work on, is my discipline. So again, I would have to come with a whole different approach, and I would have to come with a lot of discipline. You got to have the discipline. You got to have it. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're going to debate, especially when we talk about a formal debate at that, you must master the art of discipline. You must master the art of discipline. And you must study your opponent very well to know how to respond to them. Again, you must study your opponent very well to know how to respond to them. And I'm not just gonna say it's just Pseudo Killer, but when I watched Sinetta's debate, those debates, goddamn, they very sloppy. They are very sloppy as hell. Those debates on Sinetta are very sloppy. So of course it's very entertaining. Because those people on his platform, they lack the discipline. Maybe a few of them, maybe a few are very mature and know how to conduct themselves and know how to get their point across without the ad hominem or the antagonism. Okay? However, majority of the people that has been on Sinetta's platform, they are terrible debaters. They are terrible debaters. They lack the discipline. Because what they used to doing is they used to doing that street corner debate. You know how it be when you're on the street corner and everybody just talking over each other, talking shit. Everybody cussing, everybody talking at once, yelling. That's what they used to doing. They're used to doing that on the streets. And they take a lot of things very personal to the point that people making threats, going into people's personal life, talking about people's loved ones, family members. They'll go so far to dig into a person's past just so they can try to prove a point, just so they can scrutinize them. So as long as they can scrutinize the individual by digging into their past, it makes them feel better. So now it's no longer about intelligence. It's about the egos. Again, it becomes no more about intelligence. It becomes the egos. Who got more ego than who? Who got more balls than who? Who is the last man to stand? How will I crush my opponent? So what I'm telling you is, most of these individuals, they playing checkers. They don't know how to play chess. There's only a few that can play the chess game and pull a chess move on an individual, right? In a debate. There's only a few that has been on Sinetta platform that can pull a chess move. But most of these people, they play checkers. It's like easy, quick fix, win, 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 win. It's not, well, what did I get out of it? What did I learn about my opponent? What type of information can I gain from this person? And if you notice, most of the people that the pseudo killers debate are those within the conscious community circle. Those who they feel comfortable debating against. They feel very comfortable debating against those that are in the conscious community circle. They are very comfortable with that circle because those people are easy to defeat. Those people are easy to defeat. It doesn't require a lot to go against those people. It doesn't require a lot of scholarship. It doesn't even require a lot of presentation. It's an easy win. And that's not challenging. That's not putting yourself up to the challenge. If you're always going for the easy win. If you always going for the easy win. It's always easy to go for the win against those who are considered as pseudo. Nobody is raising the bar up and saying, okay, let's step out of this arena. Let's go outside this arena to see who we can actually debate. No. Because now you got to really prove yourself. You got to really show that you got what it takes. And you have to be able to actually teach others what it means to actually be a good debater. Because that street debate is going to only get you so far. That street debate can only get you so far. You can debate when you're playing cards. You can debate when you shooting dice. You can debate when you're playing video games. You can debate you can do that type of debate when you sitting around drinking or smoking weed. Or when you sitting outside on the front porch chilling. Then that's where it's acceptable. Because you out there in the streets. Or you at a house party somewhere. Or you at a get together. I appreciate that, and I ain't studying all that other stuff you talking about. FBA, ADOS. I'm not studying it. I'm gonna let you have that. I'm gonna let you live with that. But I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate it. You got to challenge yourself. You have to make better improvement. To excel on another level, you got to make some improvement. Otherwise, you're going to continue to have a circus. And this was nothing more than a circus. So I wish the best for the sister. I hope that, you know, she can be better with the presentation. I wish her nothing but the best. And I hope better opportunities come for her. And as a Cedrick from Pseudo Killer, that nigga need to learn how to control his emotion. Yeah, I said it. He needs to learn how to control his emotion. He got to learn how to do that. Because, bro, you can't be like that with everybody. Everybody ain't going to let you just come at them how you want to. Everybody ain't going to let you disrespect them. And I'm saying this respectfully. You can't keep coming at folks how you want to. If you're going to prove your point, prove your point. But don't have the intention of antagonizing. Your intentions should be able to teach, not to bring antagonism, not to belittle somebody, not to make somebody feel inferior to you, especially when it's a woman. Again, not to make someone feel inferior to you, especially when it's a woman. And a lot of y'all dudes need to cut that shit out. Because everybody ain't trying to take your spot. Everybody ain't trying to be masculine. Everybody ain't trying to dominate. Okay? Every woman is not trying to come in to dominate your ass and trying to take your spot. So some of y'all need to cut that shit out. Tone your ego down. It's okay. If you're going to have this conversation, especially with the opposite sex, you got to be able to learn how to communicate where you both can be on the common ground and show respect to each other. If you lose a debate against a woman, then so be it. You lost a damn debate. Get over it. If you win a debate, then that's good for you. At the end of the day, show some damn respect. Show some respect. Good for you if you win. If you lost, then okay, take that loss like a champ. Learn from it. Learn from it. You know what I'm saying? And that's with anybody. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. Sometime in life, you take the L with the W and you take the W with the L. Again, in life, you're going to take the L with the W and you're going to take the W with the L. And that's just how it goes. Being the best or being the greatest is not about being the best or being the greatest is not about how many wins you have, but how much effort that you put towards working on your goal, working to be the best. It's not about how many wins you have to be the best person. It's about how much effort you have put in to your situation, to yourself, and your goals, or what you're trying to accomplish. Did you have many failures? If you did you learn from those failures? Did you become better at it? So when you win, you know where you started. You know where your beginning is. And you know how you got to where you know how you got to where you are. So everybody has a beginning. It's where you end up that matters. Everybody start off at a humble beginning, but where you end up is what matters the most. All right, so I ain't gonna hold you guys. Thank you for the comments. Shout out to you, Donnie. Shout out to Brother Greg. I appreciate the commentaries on here. And let this be a lesson. Don't just go around debating anybody who have a malice towards you. Again, don't go and debate anybody who have a malice towards you. Because if a person does not have a good intention and they only just want to make themselves look good, then it's not worth a debate. So don't debate anybody that has a malice towards you, that's looking to make you feel inferior to them. If a person is not going to inspire you to be better, if you can't learn from that individual, if you can't have a conversation with them afterwards, then they is not worth your time. It's not even worth interacting with those individuals. It's not even worth being in the same room. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful evening or wherever you be in the world. And I thank you all for tuning in. So peace and power and elevation be to all of you. I'm out.